Time now is 5:44. President Bush and John Kerry have been spending a lot of time in the swing states trying to pick up votes, but they're also trying to attract African-American voters who could play a crucial role in the race for the White House. Walter Fields, political contributor for KISS FM Radio and publisher of the NorthStarNetwork.com, joins us to share some perspective. Good morning.
Good morning.
We have some brand new numbers out that show unemployment figures, particularly in the African-American community. If we could look at them real quickly, it shows in July of 2004, unemployment rate among African-Americans was 12%. In August of 2004, it decreased to 10.5%, but a big disparity between black and Caucasians. Do you think that this is one of the major issues African-Americans are looking at in these candidates running for president?
Certainly one of the most critical. I mean, double-digit employment in this day and age, it would be critical for any group. When you see blacks having rates twice that of whites, it raises a lot of alarms. And when you talk to blacks across the country, when you look at particularly urban areas where there are large pockets of African-Americans, unemployment is really one of the issues that you always hear people reference when they talk about this presidential election.
President Bush and John Kerry have been speaking to a lot of groups. What do you think that they're being most effective in reaching out to the African-American community?
Well, I don't think either candidate has really done a very good job in reaching out to the black community. I mean, 4 years ago, Al Gore had 90% of the black vote. The most recent poll I showed had John Kerry at about 81%. So John Kerry has a real problem with one of the strongest constituencies in the African-American, community as far as a base vote for the Democratic Party. So I don't think either candidate has effectively tapped into the black electorate, and I think it's going to be critical for John Kerry coming into the November 2nd election.
Historically, African Americans have voted Democratic. Has John Kerry been able to get a hold on our vote?
Not really. And, it's only been the last 40 years that the black vote has really been in the Democratic camp. Prior to that, blacks were Republicans. What John Kerry has failed to do, because he doesn't really have the charisma of a Bill Clinton, John Kerry hasn't connected with black voters in a way that Bill Clinton did in 2 presidential runs. So John Kerry has to find those issues that are important to black voters that will give black people the motivation to go to the polls on November 2nd.
If they haven't connected either John Kerry or President Bush, what do they need to do?
Well, I think what John Kerry is going to have to do is to really campaign very heavily in the black community in the final 6 weeks of this campaign. He's going to have to get black members of Congress out front to be surrogate speakers for him as he goes across the country. And I think he's going to tap into those 2 or 3 issues that most black people think are most salient in this presidential cycle.
And with the election coming up, are you expecting a big, huge turnout in African Americans?
Well, that remains to be seen. I mean, I think 4 years ago we saw some problems in Florida. I think we're going to see them again, so it's up in the air at this point.
Well, thank you so much, Walter. We appreciate your time and your perspective. If you'd like more information, you can go to our website at CBSNewYork.com. We have created a link with Walter's public affairs and political website.